live today. We hope you're doing all right. Um, we're just coming to you live. And we're going to talk about a few different things. I think we'll talk about, get some stuff straight just a second. I get some stuff going. Let me see if I can get some stuff going. I get the cracking up. So we got it. Okay, we're coming to you live, and we're gonna be talking about this just a sec. Hello, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I am sending out links, so don't be alarmed if you see the run spin. It just means I'm sending out a link to letting people know that I'm here. So don't be alarmed. Stay on, keep talking, keep saying things. I am trying to get this thing done where I get the connection properly. So we're gonna get it right. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it. And thank you for hanging on there too, because I'm sending out my letting people know that I am live because I have to send out per. So keep on writing. Appreciate the compliment. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, I agree. If the trailer is anything like the film, this thing is gonna feel like 1983 again. If you weren't around to experience 1983, let me tell you, that was a heck of a time to be around with the Michael Jackson mania. So I'm anticipating this thing is gonna be bananas. I'm anticipating the hype is gonna be crazy. I'm telling you, what a time! What a time! What a time! That's the best thing I can say about it. What a time! Yes, I agree. If it's done right, it'll probably go crazy. If it's done right. Oh, no, no, no. It's on. It's just that I'm sending out links to letting people know that I am. I have to hit these apps up. I'm not doing them on shorts. I'm live. If you can hear me, give me a one. I'm just sending out the links. I got one more link to send out, so keep on talking. Okay, I am back. I don't know who you is, Dexter Carey, so I hope you're not trolling, because if you're trolling, you got to go. Okay, I am back now. I'm here now. 50% says it will be big. Some people say it won't. Well, that's cool. Okay. Well, what's so funny? Do holla. Now you have my undivided attention. I am here now. Let me put this thing on real quick. And I'm going to add this thing real quick. We're going to put it in the green. We are here today, this Sunday. Could be morning, afternoon. It could be early Monday morning, depending where you are in the world. Thank you for listening and coming through. And we are talking to you live. I had pretty much one gonna talk about it, but I gotta talk about it again. That 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 trailer had me so hyped. I don't think I'll stop listening. And I always listen to Michael anyway, but I really went into more Michael overload. It just got the hype. The thing about it is this. I've been deprived of some good popular music to get excited about. I've been deprived of a catchy something. That felt good. That was like some old home cooking. If I'm a vegetarian vegan, but that was some food that was some green beans, string beans, corn on a cob that I hadn't had in a while. That's how good that trailer was. I was like, now that is what a star's supposed to look like. That's how it's supposed to be done. If you feeling what I'm saying, let me know. I know that some of the listeners aren't, so they're younger and they don't understand that. And then that's understandable because you ain't really had a lot to get excited about. Like I tell people all the time, like I like Bruno Mars and I like, you know, but it ain't the same. It ain't like what Michael Jackson made you feel. Beyonce can't do it. Taylor Swift can't do it. Breezy can't do it. Usher can't do it. They can't do it. R. Kelly couldn't do it. Not like that. Uh, there's a certain type of level of hitting. None of these rappers can. Okay, if you can hear me, give me a one. I didn't understand what that meant, Dexter Carey, but do tell. Mm, hope everybody's doing good so far. Keep hitting the likes up. What they got? Okay, we're doing good. Hope everybody doing good. Hope everybody feeling good. See what we got. Sending out letting people know that I am live because I have to send out purpose apps up morning, afternoon. So we're doing like some old home cooking. If people all the time, like I like Bruno Mars and I like. So we're just talking right now. Breezy can't do it. Usher can't do it. They can't do it. Our first can. See what we got real quick. We just in the mode though. So I hope everybody's doing good though. You can see me. Feel free to comment. It ain't gotta be just about Michael Jackson. It could be about Michael Jordan if you want to talk about that. It don't make no difference what we talk about. I'm live here. I'll see how many people come through though. If I get enough people, I'll stay on for a while. If I don't, then I'll have to bounce. Because I don't want nobody messing up their Sunday. But I appreciate it when it comes through that wants to talk. Just in a chill mode right now. So we're gonna be all good. 50% so far. Do I think it'll be the biggest? Yeah, because it's Michael Jackson. That thing gonna sell like a chunk. Plus, you got to factor in the music's gonna sell, the hopla, the hype's gonna sell, the merch. You know, uh, but movies are an interesting thing. Will it be big as Black Panther? Yeah, we're doing good. We'll see. We'll see. Hope everybody doing good. Hope everybody feeling good. Let's see what we got. Sending out my letting people know that I am live because I have to send out apps up. So we're gonna see what's going on. It is live in color. I can see. Some days a little bit more crazy than others, so we'll see. We shall see. Just in a chill mode right now, so we're gonna be all good. 50% so far. I'll put that there. That one like a pretty interesting question. I didn't understand that one, but we'll see though. Okay. Color. I can see. I don't know what that was. Hmm. There are more people coming back, so I'm just waiting to see. Feel free to hit the likes, hit the subscribe, hit that poll question if you want to. And I'm just waiting right now. I know sometimes it gets off to kind of a slow start. I've been away for a couple of days. I will be on today. What's happening? How you doing? I'm on today, probably tomorrow. I definitely do 3 lives. I might do 4. We'll see how it goes. Some weeks are gonna be more than others. Usually 3 live streams a week. But I see how many people come through. Once I send all the streaming out, we'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. Mm. I don't know who you are, so I'm not gonna say nothing like that. I can wish you a good day, and I appreciate you coming through. I don't know where you're coming from in the world, but I don't know who you are though, and I don't say that about another man. So, nah. I already said to myself. Got up this morning and I did. Said prayers and everything. Talking about myself. I don't talk about nobody else. Well, yes. Just simple things, that's all. Not deep. You know, what's happening? How you doing? Mac Jack. Is that related to Michael Jackson? That's cool. I don't know who you are, so don't be asking questions. Because you're asking a lot of questions. Remember, the thing says guard yourself on here. Guard myself. So you have anything you want to say, you want to talk about, let's talk about it. But you can't come on asking people how old they are and all this stuff. If I ask where you're from in the world, you can tell where you're from in the world. But if you're gonna be, I don't know. 50% on the Michael Jackson thing. That's interesting. Please hit the likes up. Please hit everything up. It's in the name. It's in the name. What's your name? Okay, what part are you from? I'm near there. I'm near there. I should be coming in about a month. Are you in the central side? What side you in London? I mainly spend most of my time in the central when I come to visit. Okay. I love that part. Yeah. Yeah. With the Ferris wheel and everything. And the bridges and everything. I love it at nighttime. That's my spot. And then by Waterloo. Waterloo. And the funny thing about Waterloo, they got that old timey KFC bucket Kentucky Fried Chicken spot, which is at the corner, and that bucket look. Oh, I cracked up when I went there. Cracks me up, but it's so nice. There's this place. There's different places that I can't think where you go and get the food sample. Michael Jackson's fake. I don't know what that mean in English. His career wasn't fake. You have family living there? No family living there. Well, it's sort of like, but it ain't. It's kind of complicated. But anyway, got a buddy that's coming to visit. That's cool. If I knew somebody who lived there, so, since you are on, what's it like there during Christmas? Is there anything to do during Christmas? Thank you for actually coming on because you can actually be beneficial. Any of the places open? I do film. I film videos. They're on here in different locations where I live. So is there a lot open? Is there many places open on Christmas or is it kind of like a dead place? Just trying to sort it out. Okay. Place is really expensive though, probably during that time. Feel like if you're going somewhere to eat. Hmm. Okay. Usually small Xmas stores. Okay. Of all time, right now it's probably The Godfather. Though I do like Taxi Driver. And I like this movie called Cooley High, Coming to America. Um, Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X. Mm, there are a few of them that I like. A few. Godfather Part 2. I don't usually answer that because that's like in a whole past connotation. So I got to know people before I get all personal and stuff. We can talk about different things. You know, it's a long story, long story. Yeah. Come on here regular when we get cool. I'll talk about that stuff because some stuff's a little bit complicated, and I never get asked those kind of questions. Just talk about general things until I get to know folks. Which usually, if there's regular people that come through here regular, that's not hard. People that subscribe and regulars, and they find me in different forms. One of the questions at the right time. Well, usually people don't do that because usually they trolling and I get rid of them. You know. And also, you got to be cool with whoever you're talking to too. And then it depends on what the conversation depends on. Like if y'all think places are cool and so on and so forth. I don't get into a whole lot of that because you do have to protect yourself. Anybody come along because people be acting and they be stalking, and I'm not with that. And I don't never had nobody doing all that no way. So I don't. I haven't had no groupies or nobody acting. All right. Well, thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. So hopefully you'll come back again. Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you. Right on. Appreciate you. Anybody from Central London got to be pretty cool because, yeah, it's cool. Mm. Anyway, please keep on hitting the like up. So it's got more voting. So, okay. 56% says no. So I don't know. Some people didn't appreciate the not sad about nothing. I'm in a good mood. I just move my eyes. That's all. I'm trying to read the screen. I'm good. I'm thankful. I ain't got nothing to be sad about. Sad about some things that go on in America, but not sad about. Not about. Not no. No, I'm just reading the 56% saying that they ain't thinking that the Michael Jackson, because it's a pretty divisive situation, and I get it. For folks who didn't really get caught up in about the jive that was the case against him and all the other stuff, 1983 almost like it felt like it never left because his music endures and continues to endure. But some others just might be Michael'd out. Anyway, keep hitting the like up, hitting the poll up. We're going to be here for a little while. I'll probably try to squeeze another half hour if I get enough people that come through, you know. So we shall see. Okay. Mm, mm. I don't know what's up. It's gotten quiet again. No. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna stick on here for a little while longer. Probably might cut it. See, I got 10 votes, 50-50. Wow. One thing about Michael Jackson, he still remains divisive and polarizing, even though he's been gone almost 20 years. And it's amazing when you think about it because the film is going to be out 16 years after his past, 17 years after his well, 16 after his past, 17. Yeah, it's 2009. It's crazy when I think about that. 17 years, wow. He's a good director. I'm not gonna say he's great, but he's good. He's good for what he does. He tends to do more action based certain angles that he hits. I mean, him and Denzel Washington got great chemistry. So, all right. What's up? What's up, Timothy? What's up? How you living? Thank you for coming through because it was getting real quiet here, and I didn't think I was gonna be on much longer. People come on here and they say, "Yeah, I know. What's on your mind? What you want to talk about? We can talk about it." He did. I loved the off the wall thrilling, but he did a good job. I but to do a Michael Jackson movie, I never do. How can I get excited when there's a government strike and it's impacting people? And that's not no knock on you. It's just that government shutdown impact a lot of stuff. As I talked to my relative of mine, DC look like a ghost town. I can't get excited. I'm not big on them because they don't really mean nothing. They're more hype. So-called Black Friday is a joke because guess what? Every Friday is a Black Friday. You know, all they do is manipulate. No, it's cool. I get it. I so get it. It's nothing to get excited about. Bad economy and racism and all kinds of foolishness. There's nothing to get excited about. Yeah, Spike didn't have the budget to do a Michael Jackson type of project. And I don't think that was in the cards. You gotta have mucho. Mucho. Yeah, I didn't see it, but he should. Shoot, that's what he signed up for. He need to get it going because the way he left Sacramento, he stunk it up. And I definitely had a lot of respect for De'Aaron. Yeah, well, Wimby gonna need that to get what he need to get. What's happening? You know. I saw the Lakers lost though. I laughed at that. No Trey Young and Atlanta tore they behind up. I laughed about that, which I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Not so much about Atlanta, but it's an early season, and you getting hyped about people getting hyped about some stuff that you know. Luka Doncic can't play like that all year. No way. You know. So we'll see. Because he's gonna be the fall guy. He a black dude who's the front window for the mob. It's no different than Diddy being a front face for the alcohol and the business. And you say the wrong thing, do the wrong thing, they got to take who they take down? The black dude. Now, I don't want to hear nobody saying, "Oh, race car, race night." No, when there's trouble and there's black folk in front of the money, who catches the blame? You never see Guido and none of the people behind the scenes. Adam Silver can play dumb as he want to. Rick Pitino, who has association with coaching Billups, Jones, and Rozier, ain't nobody saying that. And he got in trouble. That's how he ended up leaving Louisville. But no one gonna say nothing. But see, he gonna be made the fall guy because he was decking the cards. He gotta take that hit. Now he can probably please something down. But he looking at a straight decade. He definitely looking at a straight decade, maybe two. Them folks got him left to right. And he always looked like there was always something about Chauncey that I just assumed that was something bad news. Because I remember his NBA career. He stunk it up before he got it together. He's the best player going in the league. Best team. The only people who don't appreciate it is people who want some romanticize a big city. This cat, if he wins MVP again and they win another chip, you're gonna have to put him in the teens as one of the 20 so greatest players ever because his stats is coming. Do you realize only Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan have more 20 straight point, at least scoring 20 in the game than him? He passed Oscar Robertson, so he's third all time. So he's making history. Well, some people cry about him getting to the free throw line, but he know how to contort his body. He just does things the right way. And I saw uh Halliburton, not Halliburton, but host the one that they got from New York. They want Luka to win. Giannis ain't gonna win. I want SGA to win. First of all, he's making that machine go in OKC. I want him to win. I think he deserves to. Giannis ain't gonna get no more love. They have to about near be perfect. That ain't gonna happen. They don't play no defense. And as far as Luca, if he's smart, he'll take games off because he can't play a whole season. We know this. If he ever goes into a tailspin, then he's in trouble. Can I admit it? No, I'm not going to admit nothing because they don't have anybody healthy, and they stuck with an old man who's riding the stallion, but he ain't riding the real stuff. He ain't, how can I admit they dropped the ball? The Lakers only 4 games over 500, and Luka ain't played all the games, and he ain't got ring one yet. Anthony Davis still got a ring. Kyrie got a ring. So I ain't admit nothing. You're basing on stats. Luka been to one finals. I ain't dropped the ball because I don't have a dog in the race. You got me mistaken with somebody else. I don't think you understand whose channel you on. I said that if AD's healthy, but no, this because Luka was out of shape and fat and pudgy, and you don't want to admit it. Shoot, if he don't come there, no, the Mavericks didn't drop the ball because the dude came in fat and was eating 6 cheeseburgers and drinking beer. And he did it with the Lakers. Why don't you just take consideration what happened in game 3 against Minnesota this past year? You act like I'm talking about 2016 or 17, 18, 19, 20. Not really, because it was embarrassing, because if you remember, JJ Redick made a remark about you can't come in out of shape. LeBron was ticked at him, and that's why he went and got skinny. But see, somehow, because he got on Men's Health cover, everybody forgot about game 3 when Ant Edwards left him stand still like a stationary bike, even though he got 2 good working legs, and Rudy Gobert was just hanging all on the rim. That's why they had to make the moves. Yeah, I look. AD, it's a waste. But he do got a ring, and he's got enough stats to be considered one of the 75 greatest players. So bless his soul. He got enough to get over. But oh buddy, if he was ever healthy, oh man. If. But then again, I watched him in that first game of the season against Victor Wemby, and he just was getting ate up off the block because, So I don't know. But I understand why they made the move. I told you, Jason Kidd said, the guy can't come in all out of shape, eating cheeseburgers and drinking brew. They had to make a move. Yeah, he might be more talented than Dirk Nowitzki, but he didn't bring the effort. They don't trade a guy in his peak in his prime if they think they got something out of him. He just didn't bring the effort. So I don't have a dog in the race, though. I'm not sold on the Dallas Mavericks. I wasn't flocking at Cooper Flag, and I wasn't flocking at Anthony Davis no more, or Kyrie at this stage. Kyrie older and he banged up. Well, that's not gonna happen. And if they did that, then I know Magic sold out. That ain't gonna happen. They suck right now, so they named it after him right now. Well, it's Dump Stadium. It's a nice stadium, but they suck right now. Well, he should have done that when Daniel Snyder was the owner. He would have gone for that mess, because him and Trump were in the same birds of a feather in the same circles. So why not pick the wrong owner? I'm not gonna touch it. I ain't gonna touch it. 58% saying yes about Michael Jackson's. Okay. He said with little hands. First of all, I don't care about them. Third of all, I don't care about them. And fourth of all, I don't care about them. I don't have no love for no Lauren Michaels. I don't watch that racist owner, slave master of SNL. And their jokes are just stale. They own by 50 years and probably been on about 25 years too long. First of all, they been fell off. When I had Living Color and even Mad TV, I wasn't wasting my time with no SNL. SNL was trailblazing back in the day, but that's a long time ago. Long time ago. And if you want my honest opinion about SNL, 75 to about 82 was the game. after that. And then they had the one black token from like the last 30. They just started to fill it out. I ain't got no mess with that mess. I like they house band. And they've had some people I like, but I don't waste my time with that plantation. And if Lauren Michaels came on here, I tell it to his face. I do not mess with plantation shows. There's enough plantation already. And SNL ain't nothing but a plantation. He in a cornball way. Look, I like Keenan and Cal. I still watch Good Burger. I was watching Good Burger about a couple months ago one night. But most of his stuff, I think Cal was funnier. Cal can't get arrested though. They treating Cal like he gonna get Tubi time budget. Yeah, I love the old stuff. I liked them when they were on the Steve Harvey show. They had a nice Abbott and Costello thing they had going on. But Keenan gotten over. He got over. It happens from time to time. $58% saying yeah for Michael Jackson. Okay. I figured this thing runs about an hour at least. I'm gonna get some more votes. They all do. And you see how big people are now? I mean, people be eating stuff and they just look all like, yeah, it's in the food, it's the chemicals. The food you eat. That's why I watch Dr. Sabi and Dick Gregory. You know, keep yourself together. Cause they be putting stuff in that stuff. I don't know what that is. Dogs are bigger now too. I don't know. It isn't because if you go to Europe or most places, 40% of the food is outlawed. I had a cousin of mine when she lived in Jersey. She had nothing but imported food, and I understand why. It might cost more money to go to. Uh, uh, um, you can get some of it at Costco or they have like local places that specialize. But I get it. That stuff they be putting is not fit for human consumption. So it's a big game for who? Who's a bigger game for? To me, the winner of that game benefits the most. And I'll tell you why. If you're Tampa Bay, you didn't scan get one games by the chin of your chinny chin chin. How you doing? So that's a big game because you're going against a legit defense. And then if you're New England at that game against Atlanta, that's scare. You're gonna find out where you are. So this is a pretty big game. But if the Patriots bust they behind, that's a biggie. But if they get lose, they're gonna kind of question where they are. Drake's been very poised. Baker didn't come back and had to wing it. That's not all on Monday night though. They never have 3 games on a Monday night. That would be too much for a Monday night. Not really, because the Steelers Chargers is garbage. That's not a good game. Well, reality's hitting them in the butt. You know. Yeah. You said Monday night. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Yeah, that's a big game for Green Bay. They got to win that game because if they lose to Philly, they're going to feel like fools go. The Rams 49ers, whoever wins that game is going to probably contend for second place in the NFC West. I think Seattle's got the best momentum right now. But it's huge for the 49ers because Mac and Cheese needs it. Well, I said it, yeah. It's huge for the 49ers. If they lose that game, they're not getting back off the mat. The Rams need it because then he can put them away. It's a huge game. Mac and Cheese did enough to win the first time they played, so this gonna be huge. I think that Sam Donald is consistent, and they got a nice running game, and their defense is decent. I didn't say they're number one team in the NFC like they did on some of these shows, though. But I will say this: they dangerous because all you got to do is have a quarterback who can create some offense. I know they spanked up on Washington, but they are playing better. They got some pieces. Mac 10. What made you mention Mac 10? What you did you see an Ice Cube sighting or something? I don't talk about Mac 10, but I used to know a cat that looked like him. So me and Mac 10, what I think about him? I thought he was a cornball, studio acting rapper, West Side, who had a okay flow, but he takes himself like he's really this deep dude. He probably a smart business dude. I'll give him that. He got a good hustle. But the music thing, he was always a sidekick. That's what I consider PR 101. I saw her at Robert Kraft's booth, though. I saw that. Robert Kraft loved hip hop and black folks to exploit and pimp, though. He loves that. 62% for Michael. That's good. Cardi B needs all the attention she can get, and Stefan does too. Oh, you talking about him. You call him Mac 10. Okay, okay, okay. You talking about, oh, wow. You mac and cheese is what I call that turkey. Don't worry. He mac and cheesed it a couple weeks ago. He just got to hold the fort down till Brock Purdy comes back. He doing all right for him. Doing all right for him. I don't know. I heard no one call him Mac 10. That's funny for him. Mac and cheese getting that's hilarious. Shh. Who did a crossover on Josh Giddey? Keep going. What you mean King Flacco keep going? They ain't doing nothing. Cincinnati ain't doing nothing. Shoot, if he can get to 500, that I guess you give him a half a ticket parade. Oh, Josh Giddey got crossed over. Well, he ain't supposed to be out there playing no defense. I mean, that's not who did it. Who did it on him? That's not a surprise. He ain't, that's the reason why they got Alex Caruso from Chicago. One of the reasons, besides the bad PR, they were able to get Alex Caruso because Giddy don't play no defense. He scored good. He got an outside shot. He'll drive on you, but his defense is one of his weaknesses. I believe it. Again, a guy like that, you got to keep he got to keep the offensive player in front of him because he can definitely get broke down. That's not his strong suit. I can watch the highlights, but I'm gonna tell you like this, and I'll say this again. I know some of y'all would like me to do more basketball early season takes, and I do a few, but I don't get excited about the NBA until we're halfway part after All Star break. I mean, I once football season's over, I'll go back into it. But there's nothing I can get excited about now because it's still fresh. And besides, this whole thing with the gambling thing is just, I'm sorry, it's a cloud over the NBA season already. Can't really get excited until we see what's up. Oh yeah, DeAndre Hunter got one thing about Cleveland, they got ankle breakers over there. They just ain't got guys who know how to finish. Hey, athletic guards is not their problem. Finishing the games and finishing when it counts in the second round on with the NBA is their problem. Not regular season. Hey, they got about what 7 guards over there that can ball with it. They just can't finish. You know, they figure out how to break ankles when it counts, then that'd be impressive. But but Giddy is big and meaty cat, and so when he throws his body, now cats who know how to go left, right, hit you, hit you with that head nod. Iverson didn't bump you. Shoot, he left your butt at the top of the key. It was close because he went left up under him. It looked like he did go up under his armpit. And to be honest with you, I'm surprised they didn't call a phantom call when he stripped Karl Malone. I always was surprised by that. That one was, but yeah, the Byron Russell one looked suspect though. But Reggie Miller did it to him in Game 6 in Indiana. Remember when Reggie hit that three and Jordan had the Band-Aid? He pushed off him. So they didn't call that. Reggie did push off. And Jordan hated it too, because then he just missed that 3-pointer at the end. He was pushed. He was driven to, that's why Jerry Krause wasn't wrong for pulling the Bulls because that was a series. He did push off. And Jordan got mad, but hey, they went 7 games. That was the most vulnerable I've seen him, if you want to know. Because that's Robin was still playing good, but the Pippen, but that was a vulnerable series. And remember, the Pacers were up by 5 with 5 minutes. They just couldn't get no rebounds. Reggie didn't rebound with Jack. All they had to do was rebound and box out. They would have won that series. Because Larry Bird had a great game plan. They just didn't box out. And I know I get some people always asking me, well, did the Knicks play them tougher? No, the Pacers did. The Pacers actually played them tougher. They just didn't rebound. That's all. That was the difference in that finals, in that Western Eastern Conference Finals. They get rebounds the last 5 minutes. They win that. They win that series. Yeah. So, but anyway, they let them play. And besides, one thing I do on this channel, I keep it 100 about stuff like that. So people always want to say that LeBron got all this. Jordan got fanfare too. Magic got fanfare. They all got benefited from the refs and home cooking and all kinds of things you can imagine. Because Phil Jackson used to talk through the papers to get calls on the road. They all did it back then. It's only been since the Steph Curry era that you saw where you could win anywhere and it wasn't as much. But before that, yeah. Steph's the only one I've seen in recent memory where he didn't make no difference. But they all, it's been suspect stuff. So there's no gimmies. There's no gimmies. And I'm gonna tell you something. Unless they beat that butt 30-3 or at least 30-10, nothing to get excited about. No, 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 no. The Bills aren't even the best team in their own division right now. How you gonna be firm for MVP? To me, Jonathan Taylor would have been if the Colts stayed hot. I can't even tell who's really MVP this year, but it ain't Josh though. Would have said Jonathan Taylor, but I don't know now. Dang, that's tough. Boy, Bo Nixon didn't suck so bad, he'd be getting it. They may make a case for Sam Darnold. It's gonna be somebody they wanted to put Baker Mayfield. It's gonna be somebody you didn't expect. Stafford is like the quietest. Plays in LA. He won a Super Bowl a few years ago, and he don't hardly get talked about at all. They want Baker. That's who they want. That's who they want. So Josh ain't even in the discussion. But it's gonna be one of them cats though. Josh Allen didn't look too good, and he ain't had the best years. Parody didn't took over, of course. So Cameron S, what's up? What's up? I just did. I said Cameron S. I don't know who you is, but I gave you a shout out. Keep on hitting the likes too, by the way. If you come on here, I want you to smash up the likes, hit that poll up. Out of that bunch, probably Big Ben. Because Favre and Rodgers are considered two of the greatest, and they got multiple league MVPs, and Elway was Elway, so probably Big Ben. If we're going about who's more clutch, then Elway and Big Ben stay, and then them other two gotta go. See how that question can get twisted? Depends on what your criteria is. But if I'm going by I know Ben's been to 3 Super Bowls and he got two, and he's got one more than Brett Favre and two more appearances more. But he ain't. I can't see him better than Favre and Rodgers, and surely not up on Elway's class. I always say he's the best quarterback Pittsburgh ever had over Bradshaw, but he underachieved a lot too. You know. So good question though. Great question. Because deep down I wanted to cut one of those last two, but Big Ben is like, you know, not even so much as that. He was a gunslinger, but he was one of those cats that, he still had a chance. There was a chance. He wasn't like it didn't unravel. It didn't unravel. Aaron Rodgers would just unravel. Yeah, he was the most excited because he could go either way with it. Everybody can't play like how he played. Phillip Rivers tried that and it didn't work. Not to the same totality. No, Tony Romo was just frustrating because Tony Romo could play a great game and then do that. Like that Denver Bronco game with him and Peyton Manning would gun it out in Texas Stadium, and then he threw that bad pick. He always has like a bad play. So yeah. Okay. Keep on hitting the likes up. Keep on hitting the poll up. If anybody's out there, come on. I'll probably be on about 10, 15 more minutes. And I'll be back tomorrow. We're gonna keep talking. All right. Has it gone quiet now? Well, if it's gone quiet, I'll be on for about 5 or 6 more minutes. You answered your own question. So I'll let you on the story. If you watch my videos, if you're a member, I got a future video that I'm doing. It's off in the future. And that future video involved someone that precursed Zach Randolph. His name was Anthony Mason. So, yeah, that's never coming back because they don't shoot the three ball, they don't post up, and they don't play for style points. It's just the reality. Adam Silver's universe of NBA, whoever's running and pulling the strings, don't want that kind of player. And he made himself into a good player, but you know, they want guys that can shoot that three ball. They want guys that play that long ball. You come up today, he'd have to average like 16 to 17 points and get boards and assists. How is it going to go back inside out when I got a guy like Victor Wemby shooting threes? And and let me say this to you. I'm not questioning your intelligence and I'm not downplaying you, but really, no, it's horrible. It's like some church. So if you ever went to church and they had hacky sack races or horseshoe races and everybody got a ribbon, that's what that's like. And you got people like Damon Little, so this I couldn't win nothing. I'm like, are you for real? Y'all don't play for no NBA Cup? What kind of mess is that? And they always put it around people that are favorable. Won't they give it to the Atlanta Hawks? Won't they give it to the Utah Jazz? Give it to the Memphis Grizz. Give somebody don't win nothing a chance. Stuff is fake. I don't care about that, man. That's a joke. That's a joke. No, it's not going back because you know. Let me tell you a story because I think that sometimes it's nothing to question your intelligence or anybody intelligence. But let me tell you a story. They went to China and found Yao Ming to go against Shaq. They found him, right? They had a particular type. There is a Moses Shaq type of player that's out here. They just don't want him. They don't want no back to basic. They don't want nobody to be imposing. They don't want it. Excuse me. When they started letting European players come in and they started having a style and a formation, what's happening? How you living? That wasn't by accident. I told you, and I'm gonna tell you this because I don't know if you ever see my video where I talked about it. The best and worst thing that ever happened in the NBA was the '92 Dream Team. He still shot threes. He still play. And what? He can't get no job. He's a serviceable big who can't really get a job. Remember when he tried for the Lakers and compared himself to Kareem? How'd that work? He can't keep a job. Not steady and not with nobody that counts. He'd be a good fit with Detroit right now, but he don't fit the criteria. They don't want him. Jared Allen, Cleveland Cavaliers is about the closest thing to something of where it was, but it's still not the same. They don't want that style. There's guys out here who can play that style. They don't want them in their NBA. So Euro steps is one thing. The style of play. When I see a guy like oh well, they should, but that don't mean they will. But I'm gonna tell you like this. Victor Wemby, who's they giving all the love to, right? He shoots threes. So if you got him out there on the perimeter, what you got? If it was about the old way, wouldn't Zion Williamson come up big? Wouldn't he have hope? He ain't got no hope. Zubats. Zubats for the Clippers. That dude puts up numbers. Not enough. Lopez puts up numbers. Not, I'm just telling you what I see. Rudy Gobert can't even dominate the low post. So no, it's not the same. And long as you got a guy like Jokic who can finger roll a three, not the same. That NBA is never coming back. So every so few years they, you know, that's just things they do. They don't do stuff. So anyway. All right. Chargers should win. If they lose to Pittsburgh, then they're a fraud. Jimmy, where's Embiid? He's probably trying to soak his coins. And I ain't talking about his body parts. I'm talking about his coins. He ain't doing nothing. He's done. You stick a fork in him. He's done. The team is built around Maxi now, but they missed. They got to make some moves. And he came back to what exactly? A good game, but will he have a good season? That's more important. He stole money from for like the last after he got that MVP. So you keep on telling yourself that. I don't trust that turkey. They should, because if Maxi balls out, they should. But it's still early. I'm not gonna get excited in November. Okay? Holler at me when we get to late January and we get to February. Don't holler at me about some November stuff because everybody can look like something. Don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing. Cleveland looked like something last year too. Now how that turn out? Gotta be careful what you be putting out there. And I'm not one. No, I don't even talk about him. He ain't a leader, and he's so glad. It well, you always don't count out the Bucks. Giannis is gonna be a problem. The Knicks are expected to be there. We'll see. But being the best team in the East don't mean you're gonna win the chip. No, I don't either. That's why he's not that dude. He's a great stat pattern though. And I'm gonna tell you something. If he played with a legit alpha, he'd be arguably one of the 10 greatest sidekick players ever because he can score the points. He can fill up a stat sheet. He just can't lead a team. Soft team. Always get punched in the mouth by the Knicks. Get their milk money and their bread money. Get their lunch took. And I like Jared Allen. I wish Jared Allen played somewhere where he could really be showcased because I see Tyson Chandler type. As far as what? Mitchell Booker, as far as what? Booker's been to a finals. That ain't, he's a broke Paul George triple junior whopper, Kobe, Vince Carter like for his era, but he's been to a finals. Donovan Mitchell ain't got past the second round. So Devin Booker is better by default. Even though D Book is frustrating. Stat wise, a better Robin is Mitchell. Because Devin Booker is more of a starter, but his thing is very blurry. But Mitchell would be a stronger sidekick. Oh, yeah. Because the Durant Booker thing didn't work and CP3 thing didn't work. But Mitchell would be a scary sidekick. With the right system, he's really scary. So, okay, we'll be on for a few more minutes. He was when they went to the finals against Milwaukee. He was CP3 wasn't their first option. He, just like Donovan Mitchell, he had a 70-point game. The reason why you don't see Book as a first option because Book always be fading, but he's more believable than Donovan Mitchell. However, Donovan Mitchell was a sidekick to say Shade SGA or to Jokic or something, he'd be incredible. That's a lifetime ago. Asking me, do I remember New Orleans AD is like asking me, do I remember when people were playing Pokemon with their cell phones at the graveyards? That's been like 10 years ago. You asking a lot. I got to put my thinking cap on to remember that and where I was when people were playing Pokemon. That was yeah, because that's the last time he was. But he wanted out of New Orleans, and now you see what's up. So I remember they old. They need to make a move. And even if Jimmy Butler comes back, he ain't the answer. They need another scoring option. Kamingas is good. Steph. The problem with them is that they too small, and they're not going to win a championship. They'll play good in spurts, but they streaky. But see, the problem with them is like when they play against the Denver Nuggets, that's a bigger version of them. Now, if the Nuggets could play the Warriors, they come out the West all the time because Aaron Gordon be looking like a stud, and you know, yeah, you know what? If you have a Giannis, yeah, I did a video about that. I did a video about that. If you have a Giannis and Tucapupo, or you got a uh, even Pablo from Orlando, if you got somebody like that that gives you size and can score, then Al Horford off the bench is a steal. But are you an old team with Steph Curry pushing 40, Draymond pushing, he's mid-30s, Jimmy Butler mid-30s, and then you bring in a grandpa like Al Horford who can still play, but come on now. And Kaminga's just getting the keys to drive the car. I like Moses Moody, Gary Payne Jr., but they missing easy buckets. And they can't take Clay back because Clay can't come back and he can't score unless Megan Stallion. He can do it in one room. He can't do it on the main court no more. So I mean, they really are up a creek. And Mr. Triple Slice Single himself, Draymond ain't gonna help. So if anybody get hurt, if Butler get hurt or Steph get hurt, they're kaput. But I said that before the season started, and I said I don't waste my time talking about that. I like Al Horford. He's good. Well, Clay was done when he left Golden State. He was done actually the first year after they won the chip. The last chip, he should have pretty much retired. Because at this point, he just stat padding and trying to get some more pension money. They suck. He done. Him and Russell Wilson should just go ahead and say they got some industry entertainers and be happy. No, he got old. His shot won't fall, and he doesn't really have that. He had enough to get that fourth ring when they beat Boston. He did enough that year blocking John Morant. He should have gone off into the sunset. Then when he put on the sailor cap, he was dancing to Michael Jackson on the yacht. He should have gone off to the sunset then. Cause this trying to act like he gonna do something is just not good. So unless he just stat pad or he needs to make a couple million to pay for the new wedding cake or something, I don't know why he out there. I don't know why he out there. He didn't fall off. It's just he got old. And he should have retired. That's all. And then he got Megan Stallion. So just like Russell Wilson got Sierra. So you know they're going. I just think that he wanted to prove that he could still play. But when Steve Kerr benched him and they said, you ain't got it no more, his ego couldn't take it. And he wanted to get more money. and they said, "We ain't gonna pay you that." So he bounced. And now you see him every night and he just looks like a shell of himself. And I think that, depends on who you are. I don't think it's gonna make or break Clay because Clay is not considered that dude. So it doesn't work against him. If he won a ring in Dallas, it would help his legacy. What's happening to him now, it's not gonna really affect him because he was looking washed when he left Golden State. So that's not gonna work against him. But I'll say this. I don't want to see it though. As a fan, I don't want to see it because I like Clay a lot. And I think that had he been healthy and focused, early part, things had gone a certain way, he could have been the Scottie Pippen of his generation, especially for Golden State, because he did all the defense, he did all the dirt, had handles. The only cat I know who could score, and he was the dude I thought had a chance to somewhere between Kobe and Wilt Chamberlain if he don't get hurt. Cause the dude, I ain't seen nobody don't take but like what 2 dribbles and will put 30, 40 points on your butt, on your head. It's just that he got hurt. And we never got that outburst of him. But he had a moment though. So that's how I feel. Yeah, I'd be mad too because Draymond sucks. But they both need to go somewhere. But no one's gonna be Draymond is almost like he got a video on Golden State and he's got all these secrets. And they trying to move him into color commentary or something for his next career move. He could do that right now because I mean he really ain't playing much. Mr. Triple Single Slice. Oh, I understand because Clay was part of the Splash Brothers, but he ain't splashing lately. So you don't shine no big money. You take little increments and then you hit them. You know. So I didn't said he wasn't. I like him. No, I ain't gonna say too nice. There's no such thing as too nice. His daddy played in the league and he know what he could do. I just think that he he left Golden State and under ways where he fell off. That's the sad part. So he had no leverage. But I wouldn't say he's too nice or that because everybody, got a pressure point. So, but Golden State got bigger fish to fry anyway. That's if that was the case, he would have left about 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Well, first of all, I'm sorry. He might have more. I'll say this: when they win and when they were together, Steph, well, they would win and they would run you over if Clay went off. And he had big games, 6, 7s, and all that. But Steph changed the course of basketball. All due respect, that guy changed the course. Can't look at Clay like that. Clay's incredible for what he was able to do offensively, and his defense was great. But injuries and just not being consistent, and that's what worked against him. Star. Because to be a superstar, you got to be held and accountable where people look at you, splash brother, and impact. But Clay doesn't have the personality of Draymond Green. Much as I can't stand Draymond Green, Draymond's got exactly the kind of charisma, bad, good, or indifferent. That's what Clay lacks. Clay is non-charismatic. And if you got to ask if a guy's a superstar or a star and he has no charisma, he's not a superstar. There's a difference. Because Clay should be looked at like the Scottie Pippen of his generation, but playing with Steph and as a duo. But he wasn't. You remember when Durant came there and he got put to the third wheel? He got spun like Lamar Odom's. So it's Clay and Lamar Odom's syncopation. Think about it. So that's how I come down on it. Now you can say I'm wrong if you want to. Yeah, but when I say the Scotty, because he did all the dirt, and he should have been the dude that was right there with Steph. See, when Rodman came to Chicago, Rodman might have been in between them, but he was in his third lane. Durant comes over to Golden State, and Clay morphs into the third role. He does great defense and does what he do, but he becomes the third option. You can't have that. If you are a dynamic duo, you can't be moved to the third chair. You got to stay consistent to the high on the one. Everybody respects you as a sidekick to the two. But they start looking at you as a third, you can let yourself go. So, oh, his offense was great. His defense was great. It's just that he didn't, you know. So that's all. Okay, I'm gonna be on for about 9 more minutes. Cause I'll make it an hour and a half today. So 9 more minutes. He didn't move Steph to the nothing because Steph was the ball handler. And the thing about it is KD was playing off his three. Steph was still ball handling. They played Steph as a guard, and KD did his three and sometimes manipulated as a four. Clay would just set shot and play in his rotation. But he may have been the best, but he wasn't the most important. So let me throw that one at you. Because without Steph Curry, what we got. See, you when you make statements, make sure you back them up with what I'm about to say. Because KD only is as good as what Steph could do. And KD has never proven that he could do anything without a dominant or legit guard. Okay? That's why Steph Curry is over him all time as a better player. And I don't think we're going to have him. Without Kyrie Irving, I don't see him winning either. I think he leaves because he didn't want to deal with LeBron's foolishness. LeBron got David Black fired. That was Kyrie's coach. Style wise, that was a good fit. You know, Tyler Lue came in and they won, but still. Golden State wins in 2017. So what's your point? Kyrie didn't want to be in the shadow. And he didn't like what he saw. You know. So without Steph Curry being as impactful as he is, that enabled KD to do his thing. If I'm lying, what happened in Brooklyn? I don't know what happens. I don't know. I don't know. I can't say that. Well, so this is trying to defend LeBron. Steph Curry in 2018 could have gotten it. He did. He had even better numbers in 2018. He got robbed out. You can make a case for that one. I'm not gonna get into that because he's stuck at 4. He's got the same rings as Steph Curry. I'm gonna say it like this: they didn't respect their coach and Steve Nash. Kyrie and James Harden were getting exposed by Boston. The toe on the line, and that was it. And after that, then what? That's not the biggest what if. They're not the biggest what if. You're looking at them because of 3 dudes. If that's the case because of the guy, I'm not gonna get into no argument. I'm not gonna get into no argument about this because first of all, KD ain't done nothing. He ain't done nothing. Thank you. Because that guy was getting to be trolling. I had to get him out of here. KD ain't done nothing without a legit point guard. So all your points are, you know, what did he do? What's he done without Steph? Steph won a ring. Steph been to a finals and won a ring. What's KD done? A toe on the line, knocked out, and then hurt, and then he sucked it up in Phoenix, cried himself out of Brooklyn, and now he's on to Houston. And he got called a bus rider. So what has he done? So Oh yeah, he's some playmaker. What has KD done though? Steph is a tweener. What has KD done since he left Golden State? Since I got to get this anti Steph Curry agenda, give me a break. We shouldn't even be talking about Kevin Durant. Well, unless Houston comes out the West and wins, he's not in no discussion no more. He's always had to hide behind. No, he ain't. No, he's not. Stop telling that lie. I know you're real young then when you tell that lie. There was a guy named Wilt Chamberlain who's a more pure scorer than him. He's not a better pure scorer. If he's so great, then how come he couldn't get it done with Brooklyn? How come he couldn't get it done with Phoenix? You know, especially in Phoenix because he had Devin Booker. Well, this is why you and I ain't going to have a lot of conversations because I don't respect people who don't respect their past. And if you start talking bad mouth about Will Chamberlain, maybe you don't need to be on this channel because I can't respect people who don't respect the past. I refuse to even dignify that ignorant remark. And to say nobody cares is an insult and offensive because you've been from the J.J. Redick school of ignorance. No, it's not because Walt Clyde Frazier brought up a good point. Still the same rules. You got to put the ball through the hole and you got to be able to score. Ain't no, oh, this new era is what exactly? A lot of cats who fire up three balls, don't play no defense, don't really have any play calling. That's the new era you got? You don't have no dynasties no more. We'll see what happens with SGA and OKC, but you don't have no rivalries no more. See, I always tell when people don't know a lot of stuff too, because Steph Curry, because Steph made the shots clear across half court. Remember against OKC, the game in overtime, he shot that ball half court, and Russell Westbrook and them were looking. Steph sent that game in overtime, shot that rainbow, could beat you anywhere, which he can. Katie is more dangerous on the high screen, you know, but Steph opens it up. Steph is underappreciated. I'm a huge Steph Curry fan. Shoot, I think Steph's one of the 10 greatest players ever. So you ain't talking to somebody who don't co-sign Steph. And he's a better player than Durant. That's the point I'm trying to get. Durant got more. I'm gonna say it like this: Durant's more naturally of a talent, but when we talk about putting all the pieces together, Steph leaves him in the dust. Because to be honest with you, Kevin Durant has underachieved. Steph overachieved. Okay, there I said it. That's the mic drop for the day. That is the mic drop. And anybody who watches the game will tell you the same thing. Yeah, we could sit here and tell you that KD's more natural, and that's a problem. But that's not a problem where I don't say he's great. Yeah, but I was more impressed with Dirk Nowitzki, if you must know, because Dirk Nowitzki took a team on his back twice. Shoot, give KD Dirk didn't even get to run back that Mavericks team. Neither now. KD didn't got to play with Steph Curry, who's arguably a top 10 player. Klay Thompson, who's a great player. KD, that's not enough for discussion. Shaq repeated. Shaq went to finals with Orlando, LA, Miami. That's not enough for discussion. Bron wasn't, well, he was coming into it, but Dwayne Wade was actually the best player on that finals. D Wade would have won the finals MVP that finals if they would have beaten. D Wade was playing the better ball. Look it up. KD easily. And I don't like to use the word underachieve when a guy wins a ring. And Shaq should never be put in that mention. But he didn't get it done. And when he left, he hurt himself in Brooklyn and he hurt himself in Phoenix, and now he's on to Houston. And he gets called a bus driver. So one injury away, but it didn't happen. Shaq's the last three-peater. Can't call that an underachiever. Can't call it when a guy goes to three different teams is in the finals. That's not underachieving. So Shaq should never get mentioned that way. You can get mad at Shaq for being maybe out of shape or not scoring maybe a little bit more points or something like that. But to say underachieve, not hardly. Because more people would want Shaq's resume than they would KD's resume. Just saying. Besides, Shaq didn't get the luxury of playing. Thank you. Shaq didn't play with the likes. He played with, yeah, Penny, who didn't quite go sure. Obviously, Kobe got better and got even better without Shaq, and then Dwayne Wade. Okay, I'll give you that. He played with some other great players, but he accomplished it during his peak and prime window. He went to 6 finals in 10 years. Durant's been to 4 finals in since what, 2012? So he's been to 4 finals in what, 11 years? But considering what he had more to work with than Shaq did. I think. If he had gotten the ring, he'd be mentioned with D Wade, Kobe, and Jordan. But he's not. At their peak, KD and Shaq, easily. And I'll tell you why. Because Kobe's peak is tricky, for one. His numbers were great, but when was he like absolute at his peak? And the numbers were, yeah, because I'm going to tell you why. Steph's peak was different. Steph's was different. KD was an MVP. KD's MVP was right there. Whereas Kobe's MVP felt like it was given. I don't know. KD's peak was pretty unique. Well, you just get to calling about how he's a lethal scorer and player, so you would think he would. And Shaq's peak was wide. So anybody that you put with Shaq is gonna get that argument. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shaq ain't never played with nobody who could straight score like that. Steph and Kobe would be bad, but Kobe don't play well with a guard that's on the perimeter. So that wouldn't work because Kobe needs a low post presence. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. Because when you're talking about Shaquille O'Neal, you're talking about top tier, and a guy who's scoring, and when he 2010 for a decade in a row, KD 4-time scoring champion. Think about where I'm going at with this. Numbers wise, now if you ask me, okay, rest in peace to Paul Tags. He was pretty good. He was more credible than Roger Goodell, but not saying a lot though. Steph and Kobe are more intriguing because of what they had to accomplish. But Katie and Shaq, Tagliabue was interesting, dude. But he was another bought and paid for, but he was interesting. I usually don't talk much about none of those commissioners though, because most of them are bought and paid for, and they be lying. And when I talk about a black commissioner, which they never have had, and ownership, those guys act all numb and dumb. So, he was okay, you know, till something comes out, you know. He had a distinctive name, though. I'll give you that. I know we got fired up in here, but I can't stand no thought of nobody dissing Wilt Chamberlain. Now, I don't know why anybody would be surprised I would take KD and Shaq, though. They did because that's what David Stern didn't want. That's an insult to AI. That's an insult. I take AI over both Donovan Mitchell and Kyrie by itself, and you could put O with those three. I'll take him by over all three of them put together. Because you can't put AI with no whack agent zero. He only had an outer body couple of games. He was never on that level. He was close to Donovan Mitchell. He ain't close to Kyrie and AI. So it's an insult. He had that 60-point game against the Lakers, and he act like he was sitting come hanging out with D Wade, Kobe, and Iverson, and he was never on their level. Yeah, he could score a bit, but he was forgettable. Shoot, case in point. Remember Phil Jackson and Kobe said he shot the ball too much? So that should tell you all you need to know right there. Phil Jackson coached Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, and he said that guy shot the ball too much. Do I need to say anymore? Can I drop the mic? Can I do a mic drop? Can I do a mic drop? When Phil Jackson says he shot the ball too much, I was like, oh my God, that's a diss track and a half. He a cornball, and he didn't turn into Kanye West of these NBA takes. I mean, he just and he up there been gambling, and he snitched out on somebody. He need to stop breaking the law though. He did it with the Wizards, and now he's a snitch. Because he says some of the most asinine things I've ever heard. And if you ever watched his show, he says some real off the wall stuff. For a guy who had a good career, but he wasn't great. But they're trying to act like they're gonna Tony Romo him, like they're gonna go to him for color commentary and he's gonna become dignified and deep. No, no. He a jive turkey. I don't be feeling him at all. Keep hitting that like button, by the way. Uh, that'll make no difference. That makes no difference. He didn't try to make the team better. What more can I expect? I expect you to be professional. That's what I can expect. I might not agree with what Grant Hill says, but he's professional. I don't like it when guys aren't professional. Don't care who you play with, be professional. You somehow kind of justify because he played for a whack team that he got paid big money. He got paid to be dignity, with some quality. I expect the guy to be professional, and he ain't. And he wasn't that memorable to be acting all that cocky. Sorry. Think he a jive turkey. But anybody be hating on Will Chamberlain gonna dignify Agent Zero, so my bad. My bad. I'll listen to Will Chamberlain. I've listened to Will Chamberlain converse in books and things before I would ever give Gilbert Arenas half the time a day on anything. Because Gilbert just talks crazy, like a lot of them talk, who don't really respect the game and respect what came. That's what I'm saying. Shoot, when Phil Jackson says he shoot the ball too much, that's the biggest diss track ever. 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 Ever, 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 ever. He was never great. He had some good moments. He was never great. We must be looking at somebody completely different. I need to borrow your glasses, who your drug dealer is, and what you drinking and wearing, because he was never great. No one who watched basketball then is gonna consider him great. So did Stephon Marbury. And I take Stephon Marbury over Gilbert Arenas. I don't know what universe that is in. I don't know what universe that's in. Second tier at best. But I know. There's other combo guards I take over him. I swear sometimes people like to be just be tripping. He was better than Gilbert Arenas, and he's not considered great. He had a peak, like, but he ain't gonna win. He ain't going to Hall of Fame unless they include his awards over in China. He's not going to Hall of Fame. He fell in David Stern's doghouse, Adam Silver doghouse. He ain't going in. And if they do let him go in, he'd probably be pushing 68. He ain't going in. Yeah, because he got 4 chips and he's Splash Brother. That's different. He's part of a team that was a dynasty. And he had a clean image. And he was a great clutch player for what he did. And it's not just based on your numbers, it's other factors. If you win and also if you got a good reputation, there's a lot of other factors involved. Clay's getting in, but he won't be considered one of the 75 greatest players, but he'll get in the Hall. When they go to the top 100 greatest, he'll probably get that. Sadly, yes. Sadly, yes. Because they always got to have that one. And I told you, he's got charisma. That's what he's got over Clay. If, no, they're not, because Agent Zero never went to no finals. Devin Booker was well paid. Devin Booker was seen as a guy that was a more upper. No, they're not. Booker more than likely retires a Phoenix Sun and holds some records. Yeah, I know. He got to the finals. Gilbert Arenas never got to the finals. That counts for something. I didn't say I like this game. I just telling it like it is. He carry more weight than Arenas does. Okay, hit that like up one more time. We get one more to get to 10. Anyway, I'm coming back tomorrow. Gotta get rid of roll. We had a fiery conversation. And don't take nothing personal, but then again, we just did some Will Chamberlain. That's gonna be personal for me. Cause I like people to respect all the eras. I respect all the eras. The only thing I don't give up love to is in baseball when Babe Ruth played with no black players, because that comes with an asterisk. Anything before 1947 is an asterisk. But if they're gonna sit there and you're gonna have to hear about how great Babe Ruth is, then you better know who Wilt Chamberlain is. I want the same goose for the gander. I want the same energy. And when I get it, I ain't got no problem. When I don't get it, I got a problem. Because y'all will throw Babe Ruth at me left and right. They not missing him because he they not missing him because he he got beat last night. And he ain't played, but like he's won a few games playing with the Lakers, but he has missed 2 or 3 games already. For a guy that was all supposed to be in shape and all ready to go, he already missed a couple of games. So how they missing him? I told you before. The only way Luka make him pay back, he got to win a couple rings. 1 ring will definitely get the attention. 2 rings, we can say a miss. As of now, they don't miss him. Oh well, that's a whole nother story, but they ain't got to do with him. They got a bunch of old parts, and then they also got a young team, and they got no direction. And so you got the ship be sinking. But that's also because Kyrie can't stay healthy, AD can't stay healthy, Clay Thompson old, and Cooper Flag is a puppy. So what you expect? But you don't win. You got to win the chip. Got to win the chip. James Harden put butts in the seats too. Did he win the chip? See, that's what I'm trying to get the bottom line. You can sit here and talk all that talk, but until he wins the chips, he's got to win 2. Then he shuts everybody up. 2 shuts everybody up. 1 puts him in the conversation. Dirk went to 2 finals though. Dirk had more mental will. Luca had to get woke up by getting traded. There's the difference. They stuck it out with Dirk. I'll tell you this: Luka's a better pure talent, but he ain't got the mental capacity Dirk has. Not yet. So we'll see. We shall see. All right, I'm gonna give it a go. But I don't know about that Cooper flag thing. He didn't do better. I'll be back tomorrow. Keep hitting the like up. Look forward to seeing people. Thank everybody for coming through. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free. We can watch some of this football. I'm out. Peace.